All right, so you're prepping for a clothing alteration machinist interview.
Congrats.
We've got all your RoleCatcher resources right here,
Yeah.
and we're going to deep dive into them to help you totally nail this interview.
Think of us like your interview prep team.
Okay, so before we get into the actual interview questions, let's paint a picture of what this role actually looks like. We've got the career guide right here.
Yeah.
It's packed with insight.
Awesome.
So what does a clothing alteration machinist do day to day?
So it's way more than just sewing.
Yeah.
You're making sure clothes fit perfectly,
Right.
meeting brand standards, and sometimes you're even working one-on-one with customers to create a personalized garment.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So you're like part fashion expert, part technical wizard,
Yeah.
and part customer whisperer.
Exactly. The
Yeah.
career guide mentions things like understanding fabrics,
Okay.
knowing garment construction inside and out, and keeping up with trends.
Oh, for sure.
All things you want to be ready to showcase in your interview.
Okay, so speaking of showcasing, let's jump right into those tricky questions they love to ask.
Yeah.
Interview guide has a whole bunch.
It does.
So we're going to walk you through how to approach them.
Love it.
First up, what motivated you to become a clothing alteration machinist?
Seems simple, right?
Yeah.
But it's your chance to shine.
Okay.
Don't give some generic answer.
Right.
Think about what sparked your passion. Was it a designer that blew your mind?
Ooh.
A vintage piece you brought back to life?
Yeah,
Maybe you want to make fashion more inclusive.
I like that.
Tell a story that captures your enthusiasm.
Like a mini audition for the role,
Exactly.
showing your passion and personality.
And you know what?
Wait.
RoleCatcher's AI can actually help you fine-tune your answer.
Oh, really?
Imagine uploading your resume,
Okay.
and their AI pinpoints specific experiences and skills
Wow.
that align with this question.
Okay.
Then you can weave those into your story
Gotcha.
for a more impactful response.
That's amazing. It's like having a personal stylist for your interview answers.
I love that.
Okay, so I'm sure they're also going to want to know about your technical skills, right?
Absolutely. The interview guide mentions questions like,
Okay.
what experience do you have in operating industrial sewing machines?
Makes sense.
Now's the time to name drop those machines like a pro,
Yeah.
but with details.
So instead of just saying, I've used a serger,
Right.
I should talk about what I've actually done with it.
Think about projects that demonstrate your expertise.
Okay.
Maybe you used a cover stitch machine to create those professional-looking hems,
Oh, yeah.
or mastered the blind hem stitch on a delicate silk blouse.
Ooh, fancy.
The more specific you are, the better they'll understand your skill set.
So it's about painting a picture of your capability
Nice.
with each stitch.
I love it.
And I bet RoleCatcher's AI can help here, too,
Oh, yeah.
by analyzing the job description
Uh-huh.
and suggesting which technical skills to highlight.
It's all about tailoring your answers to the specific role.
I like that.
Okay, so let's say they throw you a curveball.
Okay.
Can you describe a time when you had to handle a challenging alteration project?
Ooh, everyone has one of those stories.
Ever?
Fashion emergencies are a real thing.
Oh, they are. So think back to a project that really tested your abilities.
Okay.
Maybe you had to alter a garment with tricky fabric,
I've been there.
or an unusual request, or
Yeah.
a tight deadline.
All of the above.
Walk them through the problem,
Right.
how you approached it,
Uh-huh.
and the aha moment when you found the solution.
It's like a behind-the-scenes look at your problem-solving skills.
Exactly. And it's also a chance to show you can stay calm under pressure,
For sure.
which is valuable in any fast-paced work environment.
Right, and it's probably something they're specifically looking for,
Yeah.
especially if the career guide mentions handling high-volume workloads or meeting tight deadlines.
Right. So connect the dots for them, show how your experience aligns with the demands of the role.
Okay, next question from the interview guide.
Hit me.
How do you ensure that your alterations meet the client's expectations?
Okay, this one's all about customer service, right?
Yeah.
It's more than just that. It's
What?
about communication and understanding their vision. They want to see that you're not just a technician,
Right.
but someone who takes pride in creating a positive experience for the client.
So I should talk about actively listening to their needs.
Yes.
Double-checking measurements, and maybe even going the extra mile.
Exactly. And if you have a specific system you use, like taking detailed notes
Yeah.
or offering multiple fittings, mention that
Okay.
it shows you're organized and dedicated to delivering top-notch service.
It's like creating a bespoke experience for every client.
I love that analogy. And, RoleCatcher's AI
What?
can analyze your answers to these types of questions
Oh, eh?
and give you feedback on how to improve your delivery.
Seriously?
Maybe you need to add more detail or adjust your tone to sound more confident.
Wow.
It's like having a personal coach in your pocket.
That's a game changer.
It is.
Okay, so we've covered passion,
Yeah.
technical skills, problem solving, and customer service.
It's a lot.
What else might they throw at you?
Well, the fashion industry is constantly evolving,
Yeah.
so they'll probably want to know how you stay ahead of the curve.
Makes sense.
The interview guide even mentions the question.
Okay.
How do you keep up with the latest fashion trends and techniques in clothing alteration?
Ooh, this is where I can talk about all those fashion blogs I obsessively follow.
Exactly. Mention any resources you use, blogs, podcasts, workshops, industry publications.
Yeah.
You can even mention specific designers or techniques that inspire you.
Oh, cool.
It shows you're a lifelong learner and passionate about your craft.
And if I'm feeling really ambitious, I could even mention how RoleCatcher's AI helps me stay up to date on industry trends.
Yes.
By analyzing job postings.
Right.
And identifying emerging skills.
Now you're thinking like a pro. It's all about connecting the dots and showing them you're proactive about your professional development.
Okay, so we're on a roll here.
We are.
What's next on the interview question hit list?
Let's talk about time management. The interview guide specifically calls out the question.
Okay.
How do you prioritize and manage your workload to ensure timely completion of projects?
Oh, yeah, that's a good one.
This one is all about organization.
So less about sewing and more about showing I can handle the heat.
Exactly. Share your system, whether it's a color-coded calendar,
I love those.
a to-do list app,
Yeah.
or even a trusty notebook.
Old school.
Explain how you estimate project timelines, break down tasks, and manage multiple deadlines.
Okay.
And if you've ever had to juggle a particularly crazy workload, now's the time to share that story.
Like proving I can handle a fashion week's worth of alterations without breaking a sweat.
That's the idea. And speaking of stressful situations,
Oh.
let's talk about those interesting clients we all encounter.
Don't remind me.
The interview guide even preps you for this one.
Okay. How do you handle difficult clients or situations when working on alterations?
I'm already cringing just thinking about some of those customers.
I get it, but remember, this is your chance to shine.
Okay.
Share an example of a tricky situation you successfully navigated. Maybe a client was unhappy with the fit.
Oh, yeah.
Or there was a misunderstanding about the scope of the alteration.
Happens all the time.
Focus on how you stayed calm, communicated clearly,
Right.
and found a solution that left both parties satisfied.
It's all about turning that fashion faux pas into a positive experience.
Right, and remember, RoleCatcher's AI
Yes.
can help you analyze this type of answer
Okay.
and make sure you're hitting the right notes. It can even pick up on subtle cues in your tone of voice
Wow.
and suggest adjustments to make you sound more confident and empathetic.
It's like having a virtual therapist for those tough client encounters.
Exactly. Okay, shifting gears a bit. Let's talk teamwork.
Okay.
The interview guide mentions this question.
How do you collaborate with other members of the team to ensure smooth and efficient operations?
Teamwork makes the dream work.
Even though clothing alteration can seem like a solo gig,
Right.
teamwork is still important.
Yeah, for sure.
Highlight how you communicate effectively, share updates, offer help, and give and receive feedback constructively.
Okay.
The career guide talks about the need for clear communication and a positive work environment.
Right.
So tie your answer back to those points.
So it's about showing them I'm a team player, not a fashion diva who wants to hog the spotlight.
Exactly. And speaking of shining,
Oh, I like where this is going.
let's talk about keeping that passion alive.
Yes.
The interview guide asks, how do you stay motivated and engaged in your work as a clothing alteration machinist?
That's a great question.
This is where you get to talk about what truly fuels your fire.
I love it.
What keeps you excited about this work?
Yeah.
Is it the challenge of mastering new techniques?
Ooh.
The joy of seeing a garment transformed? Or maybe the satisfaction of helping someone feel confident and amazing in their clothes?
Those are all good ones.
Let your genuine enthusiasm shine through.
It's like giving them a glimpse into the heart and soul of a true fashion artisan.
I love that. And again, RoleCatcher's AI can be a huge help here.
Really?
It can analyze your answer and suggest ways to make it even more compelling.
Okay.
Maybe you need to add a personal anecdote or adjust your pacing to create more impact.
Makes sense.
It's all about fine-tuning your delivery to make sure your passion is truly contagious.
Okay, so we've covered a ton of ground, from technical skills to customer service to staying motivated.
We have.
But we haven't talked much about career growth.
Yeah, good point.
Is there anything in the career guide that addresses that?
Absolutely. The career guide talks about potential advancement paths like becoming a supervisor or manager.
Right.
Or even starting your own alteration business.
That's awesome.
You can bring this up in the interview to show them you're thinking long-term and eager to grow within the company.
That's a great tip.
It is.
And it ties back to that question about staying motivated.
Exactly.
It shows you're not just looking for a job, but a career path.
Right.
That aligns with your goals and ambitions.
And you can even use RoleCatcher's AI to explore different career paths within the fashion industry.
I didn't know it could do that.
It can analyze your skills and interests and suggest roles you might not have even considered.
It's like having a personal career counselor in your pocket.
I love that analogy. So we've talked about how to rock those interview questions.
Yeah.
But what about those awkward moments at the end?
Oh, yeah.
When they ask, do you have any questions for us?
That's always a tough one.
Don't underestimate the importance of this part.
Okay.
It's your chance to show them you're curious, engaged, and genuinely interested in the opportunity.
So what kind of questions should I ask?
Ask about the company culture opportunities for professional development.
Okay.
Or specific projects you could be involved in.
Those are good.
You can also ask about their sustainability practices.
Oh, yeah.
Or any new technologies they're using. The career guide mentions a few key industry trends.
Right.
So you could even ask about how those are impacting their work.
It's about turning the interview into a conversation, not just a Q&A session.
Exactly. And here's another tip. Use RoleCatcher's AI to research the company and the interviewer.
Ooh, smart.
You can find out about their background, their expertise, and even their interests.
Wow.
This can help you tailor your questions and make a more personal connection.
It's like doing your homework before a big presentation.
Exactly.
I want to know your audience and make sure you're speaking their language.
I couldn't have said it better myself now before we wrap up this section.
Okay.
Let's recap some key takeaways for acing that Clothing Alteration Machinist interview.
All right. Drum roll, please. All right. Let's recap those key takeaways for acing a Clothing Alteration Machinist interview.
First and foremost, let your passion for the craft shine through.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Share those anecdotes that showcase your enthusiasm, whether it's about reviving a vintage garment or your dedication to inclusive fashion.
It's about showing them you're not just a seamstress, but a true artist.
Exactly. And don't forget to dive deep into your technical expertise, especially when discussing your experience with those industrial sewing machines.
Right.
Instead of just listing names, paint a picture of how you've used them for specific projects, like mastering a cover stitch for those perfectly finished hems.
Show them you're not afraid of a challenging alteration either.
Yeah.
That story about tackling a beaded vintage wedding gown.
Ooh.
That's what will make you memorable.
Absolutely. Problem-solving skills are gold in this profession.
Right.
And remember to emphasize your client-centric approach.
For sure.
Those little details about double-checking measurements or offering multiple fittings demonstrate your commitment to exceeding expectations.
It's all about making the client feel like $1 million, right?
Exactly. And of course, highlight your teamwork skills.
Yeah.
And your ability to navigate those tricky client situations with grace and professionalism.
Gotta stay calm.
Remember, RoleCatcher's AI can help you fine-tune all of these answers and ensure you're conveying the right message with confidence.
It's like having a secret weapon in your interview arsenal.
Now, let's talk about what you can do during the interview to really stand out.
Okay, I like this.
I always tell people to imagine the interviewer is seeing you for the first time.
Me.
What would you want them to notice about you?
I'd want them to see my enthusiasm, my attention to detail,
Yes.
and my genuine passion for creating beautiful garments.
Exactly. So make sure your body language reflects that. Sit up straight, make eye contact, and smile.
Okay.
Let your personality shine through.
It's like a fashion show where I'm both the model and the designer, showcasing my skills and my style.
And don't forget about asking thoughtful questions at the end of the interview.
Right. Always got to have a few questions.
It's a chance to show you've done your homework and you're genuinely interested in the opportunity.
For sure.
The career guide provides some great insights into industry trends.
Oh, okay.
So maybe ask about their sustainability initiatives or how they're incorporating new technologies.
Those are good ones.
It's about turning the interview into a conversation, not just a Q&A session.
Exactly.
Now, before we send you off to conquer that interview,
Go.
remember that you have the skills, the passion, and the resources to succeed.
You're right.
And if you ever start to doubt yourself, just remember that RoleCatcher's AI is there to support you every step of the way.
It's like having a personal cheering section in your pocket.
So go in there, be yourself, and show them why you're the perfect fit for this role. Good luck, you've got this.
And that wraps up our deep dive into acing your clothing alteration machinist interview.
It was fun.
We hope these insights and tips from RoleCatcher's resources have helped you feel more confident and prepared.
Yeah.
Remember, your passion, your skills, and your unique story are what make you stand out. So go out there and show them what you're made of. And hey, if you land that dream job, let us know.
We want to celebrate.
We'd love to celebrate your success.